After a decade of suppressing this part of myself, I realized how much that part of myself was trying to become alive again. And in most recent days, somehow, some way, I felt the creative block lift in a way that I didn't feel it lift in a while. And honestly, it feels a little bit more liberating than I thought. The times that I thought I was avoiding that part of myself and not bringing attention to myself made me recognize that all along, unconsciously, I've been actually paying attention to myself and actually having that part of me pop out in different ways. I guess over the years of suppressing myself, I didn't know that I was actually cementing who I was in the darkness of confusion and misunderstandings and other people's voices and all these things. I'm starting to recognize how much I've grown closer to myself and how much I've defined who I was or who I am over the time that I have been blocked. This block I've had felt so heavy. It felt so paralyzing, debilitating, simply because I couldn't do anything. I didn't know what it was. I couldn't really put my finger on it. And I'll say unconsciously, I notice how much I still value my freedom and how much I value my sense of self, how much I value who I am, how much I love how I do things. And I recently found out how much I enjoy living life. People express pain in different ways. How I expressed my pain was suppressing parts of me that I resonated with: sadness, pain, rejection, misunderstandings. Because those parts of me reminded me of those things, those times where I felt the worst about myself, those times that I felt like I shouldn't show this part of myself, I shouldn't be this part of myself. Why is this a part of me? And I did not understand it at all. And because I didn't understand, and because each time I tried to be that person, it was met with those things, it made me realize that I probably should suppress it and I probably should not even bring attention to it. But I didn't know that unconsciously, again, that I'm very rebellious when it comes down to who I am. And when someone tried to tell me who I should and shouldn't be, how I should look and how I shouldn't look, how I should do this instead of that, I recognize how much I hate feeling like I'm in a cage or feeling like I can't do what I feel is right for me because of what something else is outside of me saying, or what something else is doing, or what is deemed as appropriate for this. Down to my clothing, down to my music taste, down to my mannerisms, down to my ways of thinking, down to my ways of how I speak, down to my ways of how I express myself. I've been attacked. I've been ridiculed. I've been misunderstood. But also within those times, I felt the most love. I felt the most seen within myself. I felt the most at home. Especially over the years when I was in the pandemic. I didn't have nothing to do. I was unemployed. I was at home by myself. And in fact, it felt as though I lost everything once more. But during the pandemic, I found out my music taste. I found out how I want my eating habits to be. I also found out my style, my sense of style, especially over the past 3 years. I found out what I like, what I dislike. I found out so many things. And now when someone try to tell me who I am or how I should present myself or how I should go about things or how I should paint my outlook on things, there's this part of me that just flinch a little bit. Because it's like, why are you telling me these things? So now, I'm saying all this to say, what I once equated to be deemed as painful to be around, I did that out of acts of survival. And because I did that out of survival, that's what made me feel blocked. All those years, a decade's worth of suppressing and pain and lack of understanding, whiplash. I felt punished. And I felt as though if I did this, I'll be punished again. I felt as though if I did this or if I shown up as this, I would be ridiculed. But now, for some odd reason, I feel stronger than ever. Stronger than I ever thought I would feel. In my expression. And my power to feel me again. I no longer want to put myself in a box, and I no longer want to feel as though I can't be. And one thing that my mom told me that resonated deeply with me a few days ago was that sometimes the people you think will see it may not even see it, but the people that you don't think will see it will actually see it and will appreciate it. And also, God sees you and accepts you and appreciates it. God sees you're doing this for God. You're not doing this for man's approval. Humans' approval. Let's be more blunt, not man's, but humans' approval. If God sees you this way, sees you fit here, then that's what God sees in you. You go based off of that. And over time, I noticed God been sending me angels, letting me know that I'm an amazing human being and I am more than capable of doing any and everything right and the best that I know how in a good way. Especially today, where one of my coworkers, and it stood out to me, was when he told me that he was impressed. Because he said people of my age, even though I'm closer to 30 than I am 20, he said people my age, they don't do these things. He said, I get up early, I come to work, I do my job right. I get along with people at my job. At least I thought I did. We'll get to that some other time. But what he told me was like, where do you see yourself? Because he said, I got so much potential. He said, don't become content. Because he said that he sees how I am, and he said, if you see yourself doing something, he said, look, mind you, he's in his late 70s at that. And he mentioned to me that, he said, if you see yourself as this or that, start working towards it now. He said, I'm doing this job, because, and he don't even have to do it, but he said he's doing this job because, why not? But he said, I got so much time, so much life ahead of me. He said, just don't, yes, they threw you a bone here. They, gave you something, an opportunity here. But don't become complacent. Start working towards what you want now. Start working towards it. Set your sights towards it. You don't want to be 45 regretting that you didn't do X, Y, and Z. Or you just stayed in the same place for umpteen years. And the fact that he told me that today, especially after last week where I felt as though I was underappreciated and not really understood or seen. It just reminded me that, yeah, I can do it. And yeah, I should feel like I can do this. I can work towards this. I'm more than capable. And that meant a lot. Especially today. I wasn't expecting that message today. I was just sitting in the classroom, testing a student, and my coworker came in and told me that. And this time I actually listened. Because for so long, I've been feeling like the place that I'm working at is not for me long term. And while it gave me that stepping stone to work, I felt as though God is trying to shift me now. I don't know where he's trying to shift me. But it seems as though I'm going to be shifted to somewhere where actually I'll feel more abundant and more lively, more loved, more appreciated, more seen, and more free. Because usually when people tell me I see so much potential in you, I used to block that out because of what I've experienced. And because of my confusion in that block, it felt so heavy. I can't really describe the block because it's so hard to explain. It just felt numb. But somehow I was able to receive this message today. And last week from my mom. It makes me recognize that, yes, I deserve the world. I deserve better. But I also deserve to live again, because while I thought I was suppressing it, I actually was growing closer to myself over the years, becoming more acquainted with myself and becoming more stronger in myself, to where I don't allow anything to tell me who I am, or tell me what to do, or tell me how to go about things. Call it stubborn, call it ignorance, call it stupid. I don't give a fuck what you call it. While I thought I was suppressing myself, I actually was building a stronger relationship with myself, unconsciously. I'm saying all this to say, somehow, some way, the block is feeling like it's lifting off of me. Something that I felt as though would never come off of me. And this has just been within a few days. So like I said, I don't fucking know. That's how I say I gotta grow out of that. But I thank these kind people. And I thank the Lord. I thank the angels. I thank the universe. Because it was confirmation that I should start creating and start putting myself in a position to where I want to feel more free and feel more in control of my destiny. Even though I know the universe, God, the universe have the map, and I'm a traveler of that map. But I do feel as though I have a little bit more sense of knowing that it's okay for me to come out. And while I have faced adversity in different ways, that ain't gonna stop me, because I built a stronger foundation within myself now. And the block I felt, again, I'm saying this, the block I felt is feeling like it's been lifted. And I can't describe it, but it feels lifted. So I want to start taking steps towards creating again in different ways, and opening myself up to a different way of life. And not feeling as though I have to follow this straight line to get somewhere, because that's what it felt like. And Lord knows this is not something that I've been wanting for a long time. Like, I'm thankful I achieved it. Retirement, pension, whatever the hell this is, you call it, like, to have the opportunity to grow upon it. But I don't want to stay at one place for the rest of my life. In fact, I don't even think I want to stay at this place for too long. And I just became full-time, like, literally last week. But like I said, I think things are shifting. And I'm open to the change, and I'm open to whatever God has in store for me. And I'm willing to adjust. Because if it puts me on the path that I'm supposed to be on, I will make sure I make adjustments to make it work. So if you made it this far, sorry, there's a dishwasher going off in the background. I decided to talk in the kitchen because I felt more comfortable and more at ease to talk. But thank you for listening, and see you, or not see you, but you'll hear from me next time, or you'll see me next time. Bye.